Good evening, race fans, and welcome to BSTV. This is the Gt4 TCR challenge again. This is season 6. That's right, folks. We've done 6 seasons. Oh my god! This is round 3, and as you've probably already guessed, I'm not racing tonight, so the chances of crashes are significantly reduced. You're watching the curb cam, which is the better curb cam that Sam has created. I am Pete Bingham. In the booth with me at the moment is Yaz Samai. How are you doing? Yaz, not Yaz, silent Yaz.
Good evening, everybody. Doing well this evening. Looking forward to tonight's race at Monza.
And how's the South African internet holding up tonight?
It's better than the internet that Sam has and that Clyde has when they do the broadcast, so that's good.
Okay. You'll have noticed that Clyde Whiting is not here. He is on the chat. Apparently, he's rendezvoused with his big bloke boyfriend called Bubba at a location in Birmingham, which needs to remain a secret. And he's already said on the chat that he's very sore. I hope that is because he's done lots of fitness, and because he's unfit, he's made himself sore. Also in the booth is the person who does all the technical stuff, which is Sam Bouzan. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening, everybody.
And unless you are very myopically challenged, or whatever the terminology is, you'll notice that we are at Monza, a very, very famous track. It's only got about 11 turns. I'm not even guessing 11 now because I've just read it off the screen. Famously, it has Parabolica, which has been renamed to something commercially viable. But it's got some very iconic straights and turns. Tonight's going to be a draft fest. Tonight's going to be a little bit embarrassing in the fact that I think, and Tyler kind of confirmed it, for the GT4s at the very least, everybody's going to be wanting to not be at the front. Yaz, it's a strange concept, but you've driven GT4 before. Explain to us the concept of not wanting to be at the front.
Well, it's a concept of Monza and GT4s, but like you say, Monza, I don't know where they count the 11 corners, but it's basically about 4 chicanes and a lot of straights. I don't know if you can call it, I don't know how you get 11 corners out of that, but it is a speed fest. They're going to be on the gas all the time, full out, long straights all the way. And to explain that concept of not wanting to be in front, if you're going to be in front, you're probably going to be the slowest car on the track because, like you say, it's a draft fest. Everybody wants to be the car that's following, because you're going to get so much of a slipstream all the way around this track. And if you are in the lead and cutting your way through that air, everybody behind you is going to be saving tires, going to be saving fuel, going to be saving everything while you're doing all the work and getting rid of all those things that you need, the fuel and the tires. So because this is such a fast and heavy throttle track, they're on the gas 100% for most of the circuit. It is a gas guzzler of a track. I think the GT4s are going to struggle here to make it on one stop, especially if there's going to be one person who takes the lead and stays there. It's going to be all close to impossible to make it one stop, while the others are going to do it a lot easier. So, you don't want to be in front just for that reason. But also, are you going to be tempted to want to be in front and take the lead? These guys that are driving in the GT4s are all smart, and it might be quite a laugh to see what happens and how they're going to try and strategically place themselves behind the lead car. We're going to see that play out. It might be a very funny hour that we've got ahead of us.
Yeah, it might be. And I'm going to do 2 things now. I'm not going to go through the standings yet. I'm going to leave that for the race. What I am going to do is I'm going to ask Sam to put us in one of the cars. Hopefully one that's going to start a lap. Probably TCR here is probably the best one. And if we chose Gary, then it's probably going to be a good explanation of what happens. So we're in Diabolica, which is the last turn on the track. The original Diabolica is to your left there. You can see it just join about here. To quantify what Yaz said a minute ago, you're on the gas 70% of the time around this track. It is, as Yaz accurately said, a fuel-hungry monster of a track, and this is a start-finish straight. We are about to pile into Rettifilio, which is the first of the chicanes. So there's one, then two corners. I'm just going to count them because Yaz didn't believe me. This is Curva Grande, very, very famous. Lots of draft through here as well. This is turn 3.
Flat out. Flat out.
Flat out. Flat out. Oh, that's not good.
Not
that's
flat out into the
gravel. Yeah, he's bailed on that lap for whatever reason. He must have been down. So we're on with Brian Stalker now. No pressure, Brian, if you're listening. So flat out round here. We're going to fly down to Della Roggia chicane. A lot of cars will go straight on here on the first lap because it'll be crowded. So there's another 2 turns, so that's 5. Then we're into Lesmo 1. Now, it was very difficult to find a braking point for me the other day, but Brian seems to have found it. So that's Lesmo 1. Take plenty of curb here, and then get prepared for Lesmo 2. This is a sharper turn, more of a 90, and take a lot of curb here as well. And then you're on the gas. Getting onto this bit early on the gas is critical because you lose a massive amount of speed. This is Seraglio, if I am not wrong. I might be wrong with that one. So that's 7. Then we're into Variante Ascaria. So this is the Ascari curves. That's 8. This is 9. And this is 10. So that's 10 turns. Lots of curb here. You don't get punished for it. We'll talk about incident points later. No idea what the straights are called. I don't even know if they have names at all. And that, ahead of us there, is Diabolica again. It's quite a fast lap. It is fuel heavy, as Yaz pointed out earlier. You don't want to be in front of anybody because if you are at the front of the queue, you're using a lot more fuel than everybody else, and it means you're going to run out if you're a GT4. I don't know the situation with the TCRs, but that was a very clean lap from Brian Stoker. So 11 turns, and that's how you get them. Look at the speed difference. Oh, is he pulling over? No, he's pulling over. That's fine. But the speed difference is massive round here, isn't it? Yes, between the GT4s and the TCRs.
Yeah. Again, it's because there's so much straight line, so much 100% throttle here. It is going to be. I think it's going to be a significant difference in time. I almost think it's about 5 seconds a lap. Oh, well, we're looking at it there. It's about 5 seconds a lap difference here. But because of the straights, it's just one of those things where the GT4s are going to get up to their top speed quite a lot around here. So yeah, I don't think that it's not one of those tracks that I could say it and be jinxing it, but it's not one of those tracks where you see traffic being very difficult. When the GT4s are going to be sort of getting through the TCRs. Because there's just so much straights to pass. The 11 corners are really only 4 sections of corners. We spoke about those chicanes. And as soon as you pass that chicane, it's going to be an opportunity to pass. So, they're not going to really get stuck behind the TCRs. That being said, the TCRs are going to have a race on their hands. Looking at those times, Stephen Walker seems to be unlucky this week in 3rd place. Still, not quite as fast as he usually is. We might see him being a little bit unlucky this week. He keeps putting his wins down to luck. So, I think we should have a good one. I think this is one of those tracks that everybody likes because there's just so much speed. I mean, you're just driving flat out all the time. So I think the guys are going to enjoy this race tonight.
Yeah, I would expect so. Matt Elmore, yes, you can put a fiver on the winner as long as it's not yourself, because I think you'll lose. And you're not allowed to vote for Stephen Walker either, because that's a foregone conclusion, I think. Although, that said, let's have a look at this. Is that Gary Craig leading the TCRs?
That's right. That's what I just said. Stephen Walker's not leading the pack tonight, so he might find himself unlucky this evening. I know there's a lot of people who are waiting to see this happen, but it's still early days. There's still an hour to go in this race, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting towards the end of qualifying now, and and as such, we should. We're going to have a reasonably long formation lap, I think. Is it a full lap here? I can't remember.
No, it's
no.
on the back straight before
the
Parabolica.
Okay, well, I'll do a bit of standings then. I'll talk about TCR because that's the interesting one, let's face it. Or is it? So, Stephen Walker, head in the field, 209 points. Ryan Stalker is doing exactly that. He's his twin, you know. They were separated at birth. One lives in Scotland, one doesn't. Oh, that is priceless. Tyler, you've just got yourself £2.50 of iRacing credit because he just wiped out Wobbly. That's 176 points for Brian Stalker. Gary Craig is in third on 177. He's my teammate, so he needs to win tonight. Russell Cowell is in fourth with 159. And Shane Powell, that rhymes, that's cool. Also a Six Sigma driver on 105 points. Then where's the most handsome one in the league? 12th I am on 61 points. Gt4 is Simon Trendle leads the way on 203 points with Tyler the Smiler, I should say. I was going to say Smiler knew it. On 192, so that one's wide open. That's available for anybody at the minute, or either of those two anyway. Rob then is 40 odd points behind on 158. Spencer McCarthy is in fourth on 152, and Jamie Wilson on 117. So a little bit spread out in GT4, Yaz.
Yeah, it is quite spread out in GT4. I think it's all we've seen that play out towards the end of last season, that the wins were spread out, and it's again like that at the start of the season. So anyone can win it. Yeah.
I've just read your message actually, and why it's in that order. It's in that order because it's in total points order. So Brian Stalker's got 329 and Gary's got 313. But with their drop score, which has already kicked in, they're on 176 and 177. That's class. I like that. Yes, that's funny.
Yeah, but the GT4s are, like I was saying, the GT4s are spread out. I think there's 3 or 4 or 5 potential winners here. So it's definitely, and you mentioned that the TCRs are the interesting ones. I think the GT4s are going to be a lot more spread this season. I think it's probably gonna go down to the wire on that one.
So we are bidding now. Yeah. I'll go through the TCRs if you want to do the GT4s first, Jazz.
Yeah. So we've got a grid up there. We've got Wobbly Kneecap up in pole position for BSTV Esport Pink. Tyler Newitt for BSTV Esport Orange right next to him in second. Simon Trendle Team Camera in third. Stefan Goebbels put a good time in there in fourth for VTS Esport. Spencer McCarthy in fifth. Alpine Stars Geodesic. I would keep an eye on him through this race. Jamie Wilson in sixth, Team Chimera. Chris Needham, RWC Racing Black in seventh, and David Nichols, a new entry for Viore Satellite Racing.
Yeah, welcome to David Nichols. We need more drivers in this league to add to the hilarity. So TCRs, Gary Craig, yes, get in there, Gary. Leads the way, my teammate for BSTV Esports Green. A 2:01.0 is pretty damn rapid. Brian Stalker in second for BSTV Esports Blue. Stephen Walker, how rubbish is he in third? Oh my god. Spectre 6 purple. Carl Hardy, clearly there's something wrong with the timing for Safeguard by Result in fourth. Fifth is Shane Powell for Spectre 6 white. Has he always been with white? I thought it was Spectre 6 silver. Anyway, Arnaud Chenonnier for RWC Racing white is off sixth. Seventh is Fuel Saver of the Year Scott Malcolm in seventh. Sam is busy laughing in the background. You can't hear that, but I can. For Team Mads Immortal. Ron Pursuit is in eighth for Safeguard by Result. He'll get an extra position tonight because I'm not racing. Ninth is Russell Cowell for Spectre 6 white again. 10th is David Ayres for Result Clothing. There's 2 laps at least before he crashes. JB Deju is going off 11. What do we call him? Just Bob. That's right. Just Bob is going off 11th for LMT Racing. And the most handsome man in the world, that's right, folks, the world for BSTV Sports Green, isn't going to start. I'm sorry. I just can't do both things at the same time. Marco Lewert says, hi, ladies. He needs sorting out. So, Yaz, tell us about turn 1, chicane 1, the Retifolio chicane.
I think everybody knows that. Everybody is very familiar with that after we saw Max Verstappen parking on top of Hamilton's head there. So yes, it's one of those chicanes where everybody wants to get to the front and make up positions, and then they forget to brake, and then it's just mayhem. It's one of those big mayhem corners. Everybody loves it because of that mayhem. I say that very loosely, but we'll see what happens there. It's just so much fun. Oh, what was that?
Did you see that? Simon Trendle. Has he binned it on the Ascari curves on the outlap? We got a replay already. Oh my word. So he's gone round the first part of Ascari, second part of Ascari. Oh, that's very strange. That's a hardware failure, surely.
Yeah, that didn't look normal.
Got to be. That's a wheel failure, and Wobbly's gone. Wobbly's gone already. Tyler falls in behind. Everybody forms a nice orderly line. Who is that? That's Spencer McCarthy getting very tasty on the back of Stefan Goebel. And David Nichols wants to draw himself up quickly. There we go. Right, here come the Wasps. This is gonna be class.
Here we go. This is gonna be where the fun is.
All through 2x2. That's good. Gary, get on it, Gary. Come on.
Everybody's gone through the. So yep, they've proved me wrong.
Ooh,
everybody's got
David Ayres. David Ayres in the background there. Ignore the trees, folks. There's lots of them around here. Brian Stalker sorting it out. He's gone wide, or he's got a slow down. One of the two. Slow down by the look of it. How did he get a slow down back there?
It could have been somewhere where he cut that chicane just a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Stephen Walker's already up to second place. There, courtesy of Ryan Walker's slow down, and then Carl Hardy just being a slow down.
2000 just got a hip check. Arnaud Chenonnier, he's got back on though, and reasonably safely. That was pretty good from the fuel saver.
Yeah, that is well saved. Those two corners are well known for people running wide, like you've seen there. Yeah. And getting back on there safely is a very hard task.
Here come the TCRs over the curb cam. You've just seen the GT4s. This is going to be busy. Woo-hoo. So the first cars went over it. The next few cars.
Ooh.
Oh no! Is that? Oh no! It is.
Oh no, Chenonnier.
Oh no, Chenonnier. Absolutely, there's a wheel missing there. So he's got that a little bit wrong, or he's been helped. So he's gone in 2x2 with the fuel saver. Oh, and he's been helped away. He's been helped away by the fuel saver.
Oh.
And that's pretty bad, isn't it? Yaz.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. When you are going 2x2, you really need two guys to play along.
Yeah.
And it was just a little bit of argy-bargy that wasn't seen. Oh, yeah, we go three into the first chicane.
So, fuel saver forces his way through on Brian Stalker.
Oh, that was well done there.
Yeah, it was actually. Meanwhile, at the pointy end of GT4, we're starting to get a breakaway pack, and David Nichols and Chris Needham getting dropped now.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is that once you get dropped, it's really difficult to catch up.
A pass for the lead here. Stephen Walker, I think Gary got a bit over enthusiastic on the entry to the second chicane. And opened the door very wide on the exit of it for Stephen Walker. Sorry about that, Yaz. It was a bit of excitement. You know what I'm like. I get very excited very quickly. Not as quickly as Clyde, though. He's asking where Stacey the Stripper is on the chat. Well, obviously. It's the evening. Oh, no! Oh, that's David Nichols, our latest new entry. Let's have a look and see what happened to him. Oh, hang on, he's going to get mired into the TCRs now. He really didn't want that. Is that romper suit getting done by everybody? I think it is. Oh, this is close. Cowell's too sensible, I think, to do that at the Parabolica.
Yeah, it's one of those things you're gonna see guys get up right all the way up to the back of the car in front of them, and then just let them go. As we mentioned earlier, that you don't want to be in front unless you're in a train of and you can get behind another car. We're watching the replay of Dave Nichols just losing it on the Ascari chicane. It's one of those it's one of those corners.
No. Oh dear! I think that was a lot of confusion. I think, well, Shane Powell is busy apologising profusely, so we'll have to see a replay of this. Where is Shane Powell? Oh, there he is. Right, he's just popped into the bottom of my screen. So he's about to thread the needle. Oh, he's tagged him just. That wasn't much in it, but it was a tag.
Yeah, he just moved in there and took out a couple of cars there, and he's immediately come on and apologised for the mistake that he's made there. It's very unfortunate that Carl Hardy got caught up in that. From he was in a really good position in third.
Yeah, and we've lost Arnaud Chenonnier and Simon Trendle from the race completely at the minute, and Bowling Ball Powell is in conversation with Carl. I think Carl's a little sympathetic, but you can tell from his tone he's a bit annoyed.
Yeah, it's no fun. I mean, the guys put in lots of time in practice and do the practicing the official races. So a lot of time is put into this into the preparation for these races, and we're only 5 minutes in, and that's the end of it. It just makes you feel like you've put in all that time for nothing. So if something does happen like that, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. At the very front of GT4, oh, we are at the front of GT4 now. Wobbly has been relegated into second place, which I can't laugh too much at, to be honest. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see. I mean, it's all gamesmanship that's happening. We spoke about it a lot, and yeah, what do you do when the guy in front of you slows down? Do you follow suit, or do you go on racing? It's just one of those things.
Yeah, and Bowling Ball Powell hasn't had enough of one result car. He's busy trying a second one, but he's got past that one fine. Into Lesmo 1 we went. No, that was 2, sorry.
Yeah. I think that these guys for BSTV that are at the front, they're talking to each other. So I'm sure there's some planning involved, and you take 5 minutes, I'll take 5 minutes, or something of the sort. I say that, but then at the same time, they may the one thing that you'd know better than me is that these BSTV guys would do whatever they can to beat each other as well. So.
There is a massive amount of that, funnily enough. It's oddly competitive, given that we're all in the same team. I think if it's like this at the end of the race, I think there's going to be a front bumper to back bumper situation. Although, here we go with Brian Stalker, who's tracking down Russell Cowell at the minute. I have found in officials that Russell is rapid. This is interesting. Look, yes, Gary has managed to stay with Stephen despite all this weaving business that's going on.
Yeah, look, it's when you it again comes down to these long straights in the draft. You just automatically pick up so much time being the following car. So Stephen being in front is going to slow him down. I say that in parenthesis, because he'll still be super fast, but it will assist whoever's following him to be as quick as him while they're in the draft. It's that strong around here. I think it will be very difficult for him to pull away from the pack. And we see this gap here where Ryan Hawker's taken third place back. He'll struggle more to catch up to that front pack now, just because of he's in open air and has to make his way around there on his own.
Yeah, and Ron Pursuit just did a Pete Bingham there. Did the overtake under braking into Retifolio and lost it on the outside. Not lost it, but got a tyre off into the gravel. And of course you lose so much grip and therefore traction that he gave it back. But he's got it back again, so good effort in the second chicane from Martin Brennan. Just to answer Carl Hardy, there is still 10 quid on taking out Wobbly. It's not been claimed yet because all the ones where it's happened have been accidents. Matt Elmore says, here comes the luck. I think he was referring to the very first lap, and some people had some and some didn't. So.
Yeah, and the GT4s are not catching. Carl Hardy's got back out onto the track, but right in the target of the GT4, so he'll be caught up soon.
Oh, he will. Look, yes, he's only just in front, and these guys are rapid around this track because of the amount of time that you're on the gas. Although the top 5 here in GT4, not separated. Carl's done the very, very sensible thing and got himself well off the racing line rather.
Yeah, it's easy to allow the cars to pass you without losing too much time in the TCR. You'll be up to speed fairly quickly behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this pack is all tied together in the GT4s. 5 cars, and I don't. Looking at the times that they're taking, I don't think it's going to be split for most of this race, unless someone makes a mistake. They're going to be glued together for quite some time.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in TCR though. So Gary is stalking Stephen Walker, which means he's clearly fuel saving, but I don't know the benefit because I don't know the strategy. I was reasonably quick in the practice on Monday. I didn't do the official yesterday because I had work commitments. Not the same work commitments that Clyde has. His involve holding on to a metal bar in the middle of a room and enjoying whatever happens next. But I don't know what the strategy is there. Is he going to sit there and save fuel? Is that a benefit to the TCRs to save fuel?
Well, it's always going to be a benefit to save fuel because if he does, his stop is going to be shorter. So I'm not sure how long they're going to be able to go, but I mean, if his pit stop is just a half a second or a second shorter than Stephen Walker, considering the gap between them right now, that's going to make a massive difference. So fuel saving is definitely going to play a part in some way or the other.
Cool. And we can hear when he gets into the corners, look, he's well off the gas before Stephen. So that'll preserve his tyres as well, so there won't be any tyres taken.
Yeah, I'm sure Stephen is well aware of what he's doing behind him, and I'm sure he's also doing exactly the same.
He will be, won't he?
As much as he can. So he's a wily old character. I mean, like I said, he puts all his wins down to luck every week that everything's gone his way, but you can't be lucky 12 weeks in a row.
No, you can't. Here's Bowling Ball Powell on Ron Pursuit. It looks like he's trying to... It looked for a minute like he was trying to bump draft him, but I can't believe for a second that happened. Unless they're trying to get back on terms with Just Bob. But Just Bob's quite a way down the road, I think, is he? Yeah. No, he's not that far, is he? 3 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, if they're going to work together, they should be able to close that gap. And you can actually see it closing there. You can see it just coming down under 3 seconds there now. But yeah, if you work together with a car behind you and not battling and fighting, then you should be able to catch up to a car that the guys that are ahead.
Matt Elmore says it's a lot faster bump drafting down the straights working together. I think we're literally seeing that in the race at the moment. They've cut the gap time down immensely already on this lap, so I think that'll be on by the time we get round to the start finish again. Wobbly wants his lead back, and he's got it. I think Tyler will have been complicit there. Stefan in third, looking to mop up, I think.
Yeah, I think you could see that there was no fight for the lead there. It was just come by, it's fine. I have a feeling it's going to be going on for most of this race, where they're going to be swapping back and forth, just to sort of even out that fuel saving strategy between the two of them. Like you said, they might be competitive, but at the same time they're very clever in what they're doing, and then they'll probably just fight it out for the last 5-10 minutes for the win.
Yeah, here we are. There's the internal view of Ron Pursuit's car. That's a good bit of bump drafting actually by Bowling Ball. And Wobbly's got himself a little bit of a gap, or do you think that's Tyler just giving him room?
I don't. These guys are too close. These guys are too close together to be able to run away. There's. You gotta have a gap of more than a second to be able to break that toe and that draft around here. So as long as they're within, if we're looking at the timing screen, as long as it's yellow, they are right on it, and they're not going to be pulling away.
Yeah, and Jamie Wilson is hanging off the back of this group at the moment. Do you think he's losing time? Oh, hang on. This is Stefan having a pop at Tyler. Do you think he's going to bail before the end, or is he going to skittle the lot of them? Oh, he's having it, isn't he? Oh! Oh, that's a bit wide, though. Oh, he's might lose out to Spencer. Was that contact? I think it was netcode contact. I can answer you, Spencer. Spencer asked what happened there. I think you got like 3 feet of netcode, but I might be wrong. I've been wrong about netcode before. Can we have a... yeah, cheers. as if by magic, Sam reads my mind. Oh, there was loads, wasn't there? Huge amount of netcode.
Argy wind in between the two of them there. But yeah, they're still in the pack together. They may have swapped positions a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to stop calling it netcode. I'm going to call it solid air. Yaz, what do you reckon that'll work?
It is solid quite solid. Air. The way that car bounced up into the air, that air was very solid.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jamie Wilson shuffles himself forward a bit, thanks to the solid air event of Spencer on Stefan. Very sadly, we've lost David Nichols from the session. I hope he comes back.
Yeah, David Nichols, Ono Shinanya, and Simon. We saw Simon Trindle fall out before the race even began.
Yes.
Must have been some issue with his. It just looked like it was a hardware issue that occurred there.
His car just carried on straight and then, like, idled across the track. That's not what happens if you've got control of it. That's definitely a hardware failure from Simon. Oh, this is Ron Pursuit and Bowling Ball have now got themselves, through teamwork, back on terms with Just Bob. So this one's going to be interesting. Just Bob's the bright yellow car. That one. He's now been caught by the two behind him. Good tactic by these two, Yaz.
Yeah. If you're working together, you definitely be able to catch up. And now if the three of them work together, they can catch up to David Ayres as well. We speak about
on it.
Yeah,
I've got a question on it, Yaz, which is, now that they've caught him, Martin's going to have, sorry, Ron Pursuit's going to have a toe on Just Bob. And then he's going to slowly draw away from Bowling Ball. So does that nullify it? No, it won't, will it? Because
No.
they'll go sailing past it as long as they get it right. So they're doing it again now. Look at this. That's a lot of overspeed, mind. He's not going to try it from there, is he? That's a send, isn't it? We've not got Ben Cullen in this race. There we go. He's fallen back in line.
Yeah, Simon Trendle has actually jumped in and said that he lost the sound at the beginning of his race. Then some was hanging, and then he just ended up in the wall when he woke up. So yeah, his computer just had a concussion in that moment, and that was the end of his race.
You don't need that, do you? It's bad enough when I just crash randomly. Ooh. So Shane's had enough of being the bowling ball behind Ron Pursuit. He's going to set off after Just Bob and probably do the same with Just Bob now. These five are inseparable.
Yeah, I'm just listening to from inside Stefan Goebel's car, and you can hear them lifting off the gas way before the braking zone of these chicanes. And that's just the game they're going to be playing for most of this race if they want to make it across the line. I think that Chris Needham, who is a long way back, is probably going to be one of the first stoppers around here because he's having to punch that hole through the air himself, all by himself. So you know that it's talking exactly into all the theories we're talking about in terms of fuel saving, being in a group and being in a pack.
Good evening to Baser, who I know is watching, even though she's not typing anything in the chat. For those of you that are watching, give us a like, because I don't know that it does anything at all, but it makes me feel better. If you don't like us, give us a dislike, because that's funny as well. There's nothing like bad press. So these five, a nice little train they've got going on it is. They are setting off after Wobbly. Don't forget, boys, 4 of you there. There's a tenner on the line to take out Wobbly. Never forget it.
Shane Powell's dropped behind. Oh, Shane Powell and Martin Brennan are swapping back and forth. It seems on the timing screen.
There's a lot going on there, yeah. Have we got a camera on that, Sam? I think Sam's gone for a poo or something. I don't. Oh, here we go. Right, so. So. No, that was a reason. Oh, it's a bit wide there, though. Oh, that's why it was a bit to and fro. Yaz?
That's lost him a lot of time.
It has, and he's found himself in the kitty litter, and now Bowling Ball has taken over from Just Bob. Yeah. So Slipstream City for Just Bob. He's never gone this fast round here. He doesn't realise it. Although Bowling Ball seems to have got a gap on him already, so he's got a bit of distance in front of him. Though he's got 6 seconds to David Ayres. These two must have been born in whatever month Gemini was, because these two are linked together like twins.
Ryan Walker must be getting very jealous at the moment to not be to have his brother taken away from him.
Yeah. I mean, Gary's on him like white on rice, but you know he's not going to do anything because he's saving masses of fuel. After the pit stops, I think that'll be on. Oh, he's dropped back a ways there though, hasn't he, look?
Yeah, you'll catch up very soon. Like I say, as long as you're seeing that that timing screen in yellow, you know that gap is still in yellow. It's all fine. Once they stop dropping back more than a second, that's when they're going to struggle to keep up.
Although I think that Stephen has just decided, right, I'm off, because he's not got away by any means, but he's 0.6 seconds ahead now. These five are still not separated at all. Stefan's got on the back of the front two now. He's really on the back of these two. Look how close he is there to Tyler going into Lesmo 2. It's not actually worked in his favour, but he's on him. Yeah, Gary's reeling Stephen back in again now, slowly. He must have hit the straights. I think fuel saver. I think he is getting a bit tasty with Russell Cowell again now. Just Bob is getting dropped by Martin. Hang on a minute. How did Martin Brennan get past Just Bob?
And Shane Powell.
Hey?
What's up? And Shane Powell as well. What's happened there?
No. What?
Shane Powell pitted last lap.
Oh, Shane pitted.
That
Right.
makes
I
sense.
thought you said he quit. I was like, what? Why have we lost Carl Hardy?
He had that big incident up front, remember? And something must have happened.
Right. Yeah, I thought he was still going though, and he seems to have now quit out the session. So.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ron Pursuit on JB. This must be a replay. Stacey will be happy. 2 yellow cars on the screen. Door to door again with the yellow car battle, but Just Bob's had to give best there because Ron Pursuit chopped the front off his car.
Yeah, I think
all legit, of course. Sorry, Yaz.
Yeah, I think these guys just need to realize that working together is probably going to get them further out. You know, now that Shane Powell has pitted, the two of them need to work together to try and go a little bit faster so that they could possibly still pip him at the pit stop.
Yep. We are 27 minutes in, and the front five can't be separated from one another. Oh, here we go. That was the biggest fake ever from Tyler the Smiler. That was brilliant.
How much will you love if he clipped the wall?
Hit the wall! Yeah! Oh dear. A little bit of wee had come out if he'd hit the wall. Yeah, these two are really going at it. It's quite good, this. Whilst it is further down the field, this is probably ahead of where I'd be, to be honest. But it's exciting racing. They're certainly giving each other plenty of room and opportunity. And swapping positions constantly. It does make me nervous when people straighten up in the middle of a corner, though, Yaz.
Yeah, these, you know, like you say, you're calling these corners, but you know, 11 corners, but they really are just these long straights with heavy braking zones into chicanes, and yeah, it's you really need to get a move done before you get there if you're wanting to make a move. you can't do in the middle of these corners, so they say.
I think Jamie Wilson there is. Hopefully, he's got a tactic from where he's sat there in his McLaren because. Oh, hang on. Fuel saver on Russell Cowell. He's not going to do this because Russell's going to have the apex for the second phase. Unless he can do that, which is a really good drive out of that corner. So, good effort there from Fuel Saver.
Oh, we've got stopped. Nope, don't have stop.
Oh, this is going to be good. This is entertaining stuff. I like the way they all bought it as well. It was funny.
Stephen Goebbels trying to make some kind of move on.
He really did think about it, and he thought about it around the outside as well. And Wobbly kind of shut the door safely because Stefan wasn't alongside. If that was Sunday night, for those of you that watched the GTCC race, where Ty Simons tried to change the laws of physics and fit his 5-foot wide car into a 4-foot gap, it was a lot safer than that one, it has to be said. Here's Fuel Saver and Russell Cowell again. And he's kept his position there for now, but he's going to be a victim of the slipstream, don't you think, Yaz?
Yeah, I think this this is not a track that's very difficult to pass at because you can just get that slingshot. Coming up these long straights, you can see how easily it is to catch up here from this shot, and you'll see it again down the main straight past the pit lane. How that gap closes towards the end of the pit straight. It starts out a little bit wider, but you'll see you just get closer and closer and closer as you get to the first chicane, and it's one of these tracks that you just need to set things up. When the time is right. Again, you don't want to do it too early in the race because then you're the one that's going to be the victim. Ooh.
What is that? Oh, that's hilarious. Did he get slowed up or not? So is there a penalty for Wobbly here? Oh, there's a bit of door banging there. They're not quite in the phase of being phantom cars yet, which is what you get in the pit lane. He's trying to block him so he can't find his own pit man. That's funny. So Just Bob's also in. He's wondering what the hell is going on with all these GT4s. So everybody piled in because none of them want to lose the toe.
So all of them are going to come out together again once they leave here.
Yeah.
They probably all took. Does it look like they all took tires there as well?
I think so. Chris Needham's the last one in there. Yeah, they've all taken tires.
So it's likely that they've taken left side tires.
Oh, Spencer popped up.
Oh, this is going to be interesting when they come out of the pit lane.
What is going on here? They are literally inside each other there. That was so close. That was unreal. We've got to see a replay of that. There goes Chris Needham. But Spencer McCarthy's lost out massively. We need to have a look at what happened there. His car popped up way later than anybody else's. He's come out after Just Bob, who was in before him. And that shouldn't have happened. So, what on earth is going on here?
Oh, what's going on with Stephen Goebbels?
He's on cold tyres and run wide. Oh, no. No, he's on warm tyres. So, this is what Wobbly attempted. He attempted an overtake on the entry into pit lane. He didn't get a penalty because everything's good. And has managed to do an overtake before he's actually hit the cones. That's brilliant. Don't tell him I said that. I'll never live it down. And then there's this, which is they were both still solid cars at that point. They hadn't phantomed each other. And then Spencer's car popped up really late in the exercise. I don't understand what's happened with Spencer's car.
How long was that pit stop compared to the rest?
Wait a minute, I'll tell you. Where's Spencer? There. Spencer was in 13 seconds longer than anybody else.
Yeah, the car went up on the jacks after refueling. I bet he clicked to change the tires while he was already in the pits, and they did it afterwards.
Really?
I think.
Yeah.
Not sure, but I do think it's
Ooh.
the case.
Sorry, got excited because Wobbly and Smiler got very close to one another there.
Yeah, it's again, it's still very early in this race for to be out front, and that same game, the games that they were playing earlier, is going to keep going. You know, do you want to be in the lead from now already before the end, or yeah, do you want to wait it out and make a charge for the lead in the last 5 minutes?
Well, you only have to lead for the last lap, right?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be a lot of them. A lot of them that think they can sweat it out right to the last lap. Andrew McKinley says that was too close. There's no such thing as too close. And Jan van Gogh says, why are they all synced up? It's just the way that they roll, I think. There's a lot of curve there from Wobbly. He's losing time now to Smiler. And I think Stefan got a lot of curve. He's struggling on those new tyres. Jamie Wilson's about to show him the way to go. And does so. Sorry.
It's good to see Jamie Wilson back in it. He's had a couple of races where he seemed out of sorts and just a little bit off the pace. So it's good to see him up there again this week. I'm sure it's just a track that he likes. It's a track that you know can give you confidence in the pack. And I hope this is a sign of things to come for the rest of the season for him.
Yeah, so we're over halfway now, 35 minutes in. Waiting for the TCR pit stop. This is Fuel Saver ahead of Russell Cowell. Anybody else want to constantly call him Simon Cowell? Because now I do.
It's nice to see Ryan Hawker's made his way to third place. I know it's been a while that he's in third place, but considering that slowdown that he had at the beginning of the race that you know dropped him down, I think it was 7 positions. Oh, what was this? Martin Brennan?
Yeah, Ron Pursuit off into the kitty litter.
Yeah, we saw Ryan Walker lose some time, you know, or lose some positions right at the beginning of the race. So he's definitely shown that he's got the pace again and all the way up to third place.
Sorry. That was a Code Brown moment for any commentator. So this could be interesting now because I'm theorising that getting towards the 40-minute mark, these CCRs are going to have to box the cars. It's not happened yet, but oh, there we go. So Simon Cowell with his pants under his nipples tries to do a number on Fuel Saver and doesn't do it. So he's going to have to drop in here and get the tow Yaz. He's going to have to try and do it into Retifolio.
There we see the first of the stoppers. David Ayres has pulled in.
Oh yeah. So is he trying some bizarre undercut? Ron Pursuit's in as well.
Should be close to the window now. You know, we're watching this battle between Russell Cowell and Scott Malcolm. It looks like Russell has made it through. In front, and you know, we saw it a little bit earlier with who was it earlier? I think it was JB and Martin Brennan, where they worked together and caught up the pack.
That was Shane Powell and
Shane Powell, yeah.
Ron Pursuit, yeah. And
you know, it's you're gonna make up so much time working together rather than battling like you see these two, and they're just going to drop back from behind Ryan Walker. They'll be losing a lot more time doing it the way that they're doing it side by side. But that being said, you know, we've all been in races. We are all racers at times, and sometimes all that thought. Oh no, that's just getting out of the way there. You know, we are racers by nature, and we want to be in front. So You know, they're going to do that battle,
Not beat.
and I'm sure they'll enjoy it.
Well,
Sorry,
he wants
I
to
can
be
hear
in
Sam
front,
in
but
the
he's not a
background.
racer by, you know.
Yeah.
And the leader's in.
Oh, here we go. So, do you think? So, our race
I
director
saw him
thinks it's too
sideways
fast for
inside the
Gary.
pit lane. Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look. So he's dropped back a bit from Stephen Walker over the last few laps. Let's see if he was too quick in.
Oh, and he's missed his pit box.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah.
I think he was down to speed. Was he?
Yeah,
Is
he
it?
just
Dunno.
I think he just missed his pit box and had to do a bit of a reverse.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Yeah, look. I think that's luck for Stephen Walker again.
Yes, I think so. Let's see when they launch.
Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's standing still there. He must be serving that penalty that for speeding in the pit lane.
You think?
Yeah, he went in too fast. Way too
Right.
fast.
Okay.
That's 100% sure.
He'll be
Well
furious
spotted
at that. Look at this.
Well, it's still better than missing your pit stall.
Let's not go there, right? That's fighting talk, that like. Look at that! You could throw a very small handkerchief over all three of them. Tyler didn't want anything to do with Jamie Wilson being that close to the back of him. Look at that. That wasn't even an attempt to overtake Wobbly. That was just get out of the way of Jamie.
And Stephen Goebel has dropped back a bit now, so he's going to have some work on his hands to try and catch up to this pack. You know, it's only a 2 and a bit seconds that is behind there, but he's going to be so much slower than the pack in front.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've figured out what Jan van Gorp is on about now. When you're in pit lane, you can, you're basically a ghost once you get to a certain point, and you can drive within another car so that you don't get crashes within pit lane. I was talking to somebody else about this the other day. I think it might have been you, Sam, and we were saying about eventually they're going to have to get rid of that and make it realistic. The reason that they mainly do it is because in NASCAR, when you've got like 64 pit stalls and everybody pits at the same time, it'd be utter carnage in a simulator with the netcode situation. So they phantom cars through one another. So I think that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah, then all we need to do is add rain to that, and then in the next couple of months, and it's going to be so much more fun.
Bring on the rain! Bring on the rain! So that's Shane Powell or Bowling Ball as he's now known, getting a lap put on him by the GT4s. Is that David Ayres trying to get out of the way desperately of the GT4s before he gets absolutely mullered?
Yeah, Stephen Goebel's caught up to this pack now.
Look at that! That was a GT4 pushing Stephen Goebel, surely. Stefan even. Stefan suddenly became British.
And Wobbly's decided he's going to go for it and pull away at the front, and just go as hard as he can. I think now would be the time, if ever, with just over 20 minutes to go. If he can put that gap between him and the rest of the pack, then now could be the time to do that.
Yeah, and I think Jamie's been the big loser there because he's been shuffled back a position with all that going on with the TCRs. So, and yeah, I think Wobbly's tried to take the opportunity to gap, but he's not going to manage it. He's already being reeled in by Smiler. It's so hard to get away on this track, isn't it, Yaz? Because the toe is so strong.
Yeah, you're really going to have to be so much quicker through the corners to be able to put a gap on anybody, because they are just going to catch you on the straight. But I think they're out of the fuel saving mode now. We're into the last 17 minutes. So now it's a push for the line. They're not going to be lifting through any of it anymore. It's going to be balls to the wall as fast as they can go now.
Yeah, definitely. And Bowling Ball's looking to find himself a new result clothing victim. He's already claimed 1 scalp tonight. Of course, I'm joking, of course. It was only the slightest of nudges, but still. And now he's got David Ayres in front of him. Steps out from the toe. He's going to have masses of overspeed here. And later on the brakes, actually, than David Ayres. And gets the job done. Now, David could fight back here. He's going to have the toe all the way around turn 3. That's right, we're counting that as 3, yes. And into the second chicane. Do you reckon he's got it? Oh, he's having a look, isn't he?
Yep,
and he's got that done.
Got it. Ooh,
no, that's
hold
good.
on to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott Malcolm has managed to put himself into 4th place in the TCRs all alone. Shane Powell, he was in that battle with Shane Powell for quite some time. And now after the pit stops, it seems that they've separated themselves.
Yeah. And you were utterly right about Gary. He's now way back down the field after serving his penalty for speeding. Actually, it was Sam that called it, I think. Or was it both of you? I don't really care. All I know is that a tear will be shed tonight in the BSTV Green camp. Marco
is a fun place to be getting through the TCRs.
Yeah, so Fuel Saver and Russell having to try and do their best to stay alive at the moment. Jamie Wilson's dropped back from Stefan massively. And Marco is right. It is a really strong race from Stefan tonight. He's literally like less than half a second away from first place here. Big result here for VTS Germany if he can pull something special off in the final stages of this race. We've got 14 minutes to go. And this isn't dying out either. This is a replay of last lap, isn't it?
Yeah, Stefan is definitely looking quite. He's really putting on a good show here. And
look at that! Oh no! Stay on the track, Stefan. Oh dear, he got a hip check because the other 2 cars came together. There was no net code in that wobbly. I don't care what you're saying on the chat.
Oh, yeah.
So close to a disaster. And so close to 3 wide.
Yeah, I was just saying Stefan has been looking good. He hasn't just been sitting back there and he's been trying to make some moves, and there again he was looking to make the pass, but was the unfortunate casualty in the incident in front of him.
Yeah, but he held it well and he controlled it very professionally. Jamie Wilson in the background, overtaking those TCRs. This is Romper Suit and Bowling Ball still together. And they've got they've got Shane in front. No, who's that? Spencer. Yeah, Spencer has just overtaken them and set off down the road. Oh, it's a good line into there from David Ayres. He's put Shane very wide in Parabolica. And right. So there's going to be a lot of toe coming here for Bowling Ball. And is he bump drafting? He is. So these two starting to work together now. He's braked early, which is the right thing to do when you've bump draft somebody. And then they'll tuck themselves into turn 1. They've got 15 seconds to make up, mind, before they catch up with Fuel Saver. Again, for those watching, don't forget to give us a like. They mean everything to us. It might just be a click to you, but it's a lot to us.
And yeah, once again, it's Ryan Walker's backup. He's up in second place again, showing what he can do. Since his return to racing towards the end of last season, he's really put on a few good shows. And once, we saw that little error from Gary Craig that dropped him out of second position. But once again, Ryan Walker has pounced on that.
Very much so. Yeah, he's he's got a lot to do to get on terms with Stephen Walker again. 7.5 seconds minimum. The action really is here with the GT4s at the moment. We know that there's a lot of chess playing going on. A lot of tactics here in terms of staying behind before the last lap, really. Stefan needs to get a wriggle on and get back on terms with these two.
Yeah, he's just dropped back a little bit, but I'm sure you'll catch up again. Tyler's just put in the fastest lap of the race, 56.6. But the other guys are not much slower.
No, they're not. And just to correct Marco there, he shouldn't have said that. Actually, you should have done, because Stefan is having a strong race and he's still in contention. He just needs to get back on the back of Tyler, and he's in with a shot of winning. Anybody can win as long as they're in the toe of the leader at some point. Even Jamie Wilson, as long as it... Ooh, hang on, what's this? This is going on again. So David Ayres trying to defend that position against Bowling Ball. And this is Fuel Saver and Russell Cowell. So Tyler and Wobbly seem to have almost dropped Stefan by about 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds. So they are setting off down the road now. Here we're still watching Bowling Ball and David Ayres. No, yeah, it was, yeah. And this is Spencer trying to get through the TCRs.
We might have only 8 minutes left of this race, but this race is far from over.
Oh yeah, there's battles everywhere at the minute. I don't know where Sam thinks he's going to put the next camera, to be honest. Oh, that's wide from Fuel Saver. And David Ayres still stalking Bowling Ball. I think there's going to be an overtake at some point. That was a bit sideways from Shane. Tyler's winding up Stephen Walker about the 10 quid to take out Wobbly. They must be on the same bit of track. But round the outside here is an attempt by David Ayres. Ryan Walker's busy talking on the chat. Nobody knows what he's saying because he's Scottish.
Yeah, the leaders of the GT4s and the leaders of the TCRs are all in the same piece of track at the moment.
Oh. It gets a bit tasty when that's going on. Oh, look at this. Tyler, the smiler, round the outside. He's going to get it done as well, possibly. And no, he's going to give it up to Wobbly. Oh no, he's not. He's still fighting. And to your point you made earlier, Yaz, that's brought Stefan back into this.
Yeah, right back into it, and I think this is where it's going to come down. We're into the last 5 minutes now, and I think this is where you want to start making the moves. And we've got about probably another 2 laps after this one, you all you need to do is make that move on the last lap, and that's when it's going to count. And yeah,
that's ridiculous.
We're going with these 3, and anything can happen now. Jamie Wilson, who's just a little bit behind this pack, also needs to be on it, because he could pounce on any kind of error that these top 3 could make.
Yeah, there's only like 4.5 minutes to go, and these guys are all trying to share the same bit of tarmac. Stefan's fully in this mix now. I hope this doesn't end badly. Stefan's going for the very wide line. He's bailed. He's not having any of it. Whereas Wobbly and Tyler are still going at it.
Jamie Wilson's all in on this now.
Yeah, he's here as well now. Just in the right hand side of your screens at the minute. There he is in full shot. He's on Stefan now. Marco Namela says, I've never seen Wobbly crash. Please, Tyler, do it. Lots of curve from the front 2. Less from the 2 chasing.
Yeah, I think these guys now, all they need to do is, they're going to be so focused on not making a mistake. They're going to be looking in them, behind them, looking in front of them. There's so much that's going to be going on. It's going to be who has the muscle and the balls to stay in this.
Yeah, and that's David Ayres putting out a signal to Shane Powell there to say you're not having this easy. And Shane's trying to go around the outside. He's going to do this because there's a lot of momentum around that line after you've got the toe in the first part of it, but David's later on the brakes. Oh, look at that. That's faith in your co-racer, isn't it, Yaz?
Yeah, the leaders coming around Parabolica now. I think they're going to stretch this for another 2 laps around here.
I would think so. There's 58 minutes to go.
Watching this battle up front here, and Wobbly's weaving from side to side, trying to break the toe. Scott Malcolm's gotten through.
He has. Fuel savers through on Russell Cowell. Don't know whether that was the wisest choices, because you really want to be in that position in the last lap. And he's going to get dragged to the line. So that'll be an indicator to him of what will happen if he tries that again on the last lap. Do we think they've picked up the white flag yet, Sam, or is that next time round?
It's going to be next time round.
Cheers to both of you. Right, so Wobbly's done his best to get a gap to Tyler, who's done his best to get a gap to Stefan. Meanwhile, in TCR, it's still going on with these two. Inseparable. But they've given each other room every lap. It's really cool to see. Whoa, that's a lot of curve from Smiler.
Yeah, they're going to be giving it everything now. You know, they're coming up to the white flag with 1 lap left. You know, there's no time like now to try and make whatever move you're going to make. Stefan Goebel has dropped back a little bit. He's going to want to try and nail this last corner to get back up to them before the first chicane, so that he can get himself back into this, you know, to pile on some pressure on these top guys. And likewise for Jamie Wilson, he's going to want to make Stefan Goebel think about it a bit more.
Yeah, so last lap for everybody here.
Fastest lap for Stefan.
Yeah, Stefan's just put in the quickest lap now, and he's actually blown the previous lap by, I think it's nearly 3/10.
Yeah, he is. He's
you know, so,
on it like a car
so
bonnet.
he's all on it.
This is good stuff. Anything can happen now. Don't look away. Don't even blink. Someone's given us 2 don't likes. Never mind.
Oh, these cars are bouncing off these curves.
Like, way up in the air. Look at Jamie. Having a real good look at Stefan. There's a podium in that position there. And McLaren would look... Yeah, possibly. That could be Tyler with a slowdown. Stefan has stepped out for Tyler here. And he's dropped back in again. And now this is where the race is really at. I think Wobbly's got it sorted, but here we go. Tyler staying to the right-hand side, the shortest line around Diabolica.
Yeah, this is a good move from Tyler. If he can just make it stick around here. And he'll have
got this sorted. I just feel like he's got it sorted.
Yeah. He's got the
this is so close.
longer run down.
Look at Jamie.
Yeah, Stefan's got it.
He has as well. Awesome race from Stefan. Nobody noticed that Wobbly won. That's probably for the best.
That was such a... Wow. What can we say? It was such a good race. Very good finish by Stefan Goebel. I know he was in there trying to get the win. But second place there, right on the last corner. He's really made it... I don't know. He's made it count as best as he could. What a race we've had. Jamie Wilson came in 4th in that same battle. Spencer McCarthy's over the line in 5th. And Stephen Walker's as well crossed the line for TCRs. We didn't even see that. Ryan Walker in 2nd place as well.
Yeah, we did get Stephen Walker. This one still going on right to the very death. TCR's still coming across the line at the moment.
Yeah, we've seen some good battles over in the TCRs. Russell Cowell and Scott Malcolm went at it for a good part of the last half hour. Shane Powell, David is, and they you can see them coming over the line together. Gary Clay coming over the line now. That mistake he made in his pit entry, so unfortunate. He was well in it with Stephen Walker in the beginning, and now we see Martin Beaton celebrating his 8th place finish.
And just Bob going around the last turn now. Jan van Gorp says, as if that dainty Porsche can put a dent in that tank that Wobbly's driving. You're absolutely right. That BMW is a bus. Didn't even take him out after the finish, according to Marco Nemela. I would have done. So, session has gone official. Yaz, do you want to take us through the GT4 finishing order?
Yeah, the GT4s, we had Wobbly come home in first place for BSTV Esport Pink. Stefan Goebel making that move on the last corner, taking second place for VTS Esport, just pipping Tyler Newitt in third for BSTV Esport Orange. Jamie Wilson in that battle as well for Team Chimera, finishing fourth. A little bit back was Spencer McCarthy for Alpine Stars Geodesic. We saw something happen in the pits with his pit stop that slowed him down a bit and took him out of that battle up front. He came home in fifth. Chris Needham finished sixth. David Nichols ended quite early. I think it was 2 or 3 laps in for VRS Satellite Racing in his first race. And then Simon Trendle had that hardware problem on the opening parade lap, which saw him out before the race even started.
Yeah, and just to echo Marco Lewert's sentiments there on the chat, deepest respect for the top 4 GTR drivers. Really clean racing, absolutely right. TCR, Stephen Walker, Kel Surprise, finished first for Spectre 6 Purple. I do feel that if Gary hadn't got a speeding penalty, that would have been a different story, or rather a more exciting one at the end there. Ryan Walker came home second for BSTV Esports Blue. Third was Russell Cowell for Spectre 6 White. For Team Mads Immortal, Scott Malcolm, also known as Fuel Saver now, finished fourth. Bowling Ball, Shane Powell, finished fifth for Spectre 6 White. David Ayres finished sixth for Result Clothing iRacing team. Gary Craig will feel like he's robbed himself of a better finish, I think. In seventh there for BSTV Esports Green. Martin Brennan, Ron Pursuit, finished 8th for Safeguard by Result, which is a great result for him. Just Bob finished in 9th for LMT Racing. And then we've got some retirees here. So 10th, Carl Hardy, 22 laps down. Arno Chenonier, for RWC Racing White, 29 laps down. And the most handsome man in the league didn't actually start. To whoever that is who's just put a comment on the chat, Stefan will win soon. I have no doubt he will. Right, so I'm going to take on the first of the interviews. And sadly, it's with Wobbly, who managed to win today. So you managed to luckily make your way to the front and luckily win by possibly about a second or something like that, I think it was. Explain how you were so lucky, Wobbly.
Yes, I spoke to Walker lately a couple of times and he told me that I should just be very lucky. So yeah. I figured that's what I should do.
Yeah. No, but you had a bit of a to and fro with Tyler for a while. Stefan looked like he was getting tasty towards the end. Jamie looked like he was going to get in on the action towards the end as well.
Yeah.
So tell me about your race and your fuel saving strategy and the small Persian lamp that you rubbed in order to get your 3 wishes for tonight.
You dick. I think on Monday or Sunday or something, I PM'd Tyler, said, "Do you want to be my tow buddy?" And he said yes. Yeah. So we figured that if we stuck it on 1 and 2 in whatever order, to just try to gun it for 2 laps and see if we could get away, and we didn't. So we ended up, I think I did a couple more laps on first place, but in the end we started switching around, which worked out pretty well. And then towards the pit entry, I asked Tyler, just tell me when you start braking. And I figured that if I'll just brake like a couple of milliseconds later, I could pass him while doing so. So basically, that's what happened. And yeah,
it was hilarious, the pit stop. It was like the M25 just outside London at 8 o'clock on a rush hour. Everybody was piling in at the same time, and you were busy. The back end of your BMW was dancing about all over the place, trying to shed speed. It was funny to watch and great racing. As Marco said, his deepest respect for the top 4 racers, and you were the top of them. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we have to celebrate your victory? Because
with pie. Well, shout out to Tyler, and our tactics were spot on. Fortunately, he crashed into me with netcode, but it might have been my fault because I was serving a slowdown. So it's a 50-50 there. But it was a real good tactic, and we coordinated very well. And also to Gary and Ryan Walker Stalker in the Discord, and Sam, usual, Jazz, and that you beat.
In that case, just get lost, really.
Yeah, you too.
Flushed him. Awesome. The queue in the interview room is massive. I don't know whether you've seen it, Yaz.
Nope, I haven't seen it.
Have you not?
Oh.
So, no Stefan. What is that about? That's got to be his best finish of maybe even this league. He's not far away from a win. You're going to get Tyler Newitt in a second because he's next into the booth. So over to you, Yaz, to interrogate Tyler.
Tyler Newitt, a well-fought race. In the end, losing second place on the last corner, but a battle for 31 laps. What was that like?
It's pretty exhausting, to be honest. I was having to push pretty hard to keep up with Wobbly. He was definitely the quickest of that bunch. I mean, you can't get away around Monza unless you're, half a second clear of the drivers behind. And I was just quick enough to be in that window with Wobbly. But the good news was he made a few mistakes, so I had a shot. But I didn't want to. I'd already hit him once and knocked the toe out, so I didn't want to hit him again at the end there and potentially take us both out. So it was, it was tough, but it was about as fun as a Monza race gets.
Yeah, we saw up until the pit stop, it was a 5-car race up front, and we saw you and Wobbly swapping places back and forth in the beginning there. He mentioned, it was sort of a strategy to be. He called it you guys were toe buddies. What was it like looking forward and back through that hour? Like you said, was exhausting. But I mean, the guys behind you were really on it as well.
Yeah, they're what made it exhausting because they kept up. we were hoping once Simon lost it on the pace lap that we might be able to build a gap, but no, Stefan and Jamie and Spencer were all too quick for that to happen. So it was just a matter of, we were kind of monitoring where each other's fuel was, and once we got kind of even, or one of us got ahead, and we had enough of a gap back to Stefan or Spencer, whoever was behind us, we'd swap it. So it was about as calculated as we as a team get. We weren't saying, all right, we'll swap it every 4 laps, but it was just a matter of, when the timing works out, we'll switch. So we keep it. And then he cheated me into the pit lane, which I wasn't happy about. But otherwise, I mean, he did hold back in the closing stages to make sure I had a toe, even though it wasn't enough. So he earned his way back into my good graces, I guess.
Yeah, we saw Stefan Goebel just pipping you to the line right at the end there. Did he just have a better run after that last corner to get to the line? Did you have a bit of loss of traction going into there? How was that last corner?
He had a better run out of Ascari, and took the outside, which was probably the better line to be in, because when you're holding it, I was holding it tight to the apex trying to keep it off him, and you just, start to spin the tires up a little, not enough to, lose it, but you're not getting maximum traction there on the inside, and even with the toe. Stefan was able to kind of keep the momentum on the outside better. And then Jamie with the double toe almost jumped me as well. So it was just it was really Ascari that was the difference maker, not Parabolica. But I mean, the whole closing stages of the race were tough because, like, my toe was my steering was knocked like a half a degree out of alignment, which isn't that big a deal when you're like just kind of riding, but when you're pushing, it makes things a bit tricky. So somehow still set my fastest lap of the race in that period, but it was a lot tougher those last 5 laps or so than it was the beginning.
Well, it really was a good race to watch up front there. You guys in the GT4s, we had a lot of action going on there, and you guys have entertained us for an hour. Before you go, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you guys as always for doing the broadcast, for Pete for anchoring the broadcast and not racing today, to make up for Clyde, who was out I don't know, taking care of his business. And shout out to everyone in the BSTV chat. Rob wasn't there today, but Wobbly and Gary and JB, it was fun. And all our sponsors and everybody who turns up. So looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yep. Well done once again. Another podium for you, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yep, sounds good, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
He's gone. Right, okay, we're going to move on to some TCRs now. Ooh, if I can even manage to press the right buttons. If anybody ever doubted it, it wasn't me. Stephen Walker was the winner of TCR. Congratulations, Stephen.
Thank you very much.
Are you getting bored yet?
No, it's a lot of fun. Like, I just like driving and racing, and the first half of the race, was great. It got, I think Gary got a speeding in the pits. Unfortunately, otherwise, I think the last part of the race would have been like really, really like a bit more intense. So that's a shame from that point of view. But otherwise, it was a really good fun, bit of a hectic first 5-6 laps.
Yeah, he was definitely stalking you, and I think he would have been able to at least put some moves on you, even in the last few stages of the race, as it were. But yeah, he got binned by his own speeding penalty. Monza's delivered for you like virtually all the other tracks. What's your secret? What are you going to share with the rest of them in order to help them give you some more competitive racing?
I don't know. I tend to dislike most of the tracks we do, but I just tend to be like okay at them, and then I don't know. I can't like. I pass. Next question.
Well, I consider you to be like that kid at school that always said, I've not revised for this exam, and then gets an A anyway because secretly he's been revising for 10 years.
I wish I was that kid at school. I wish. I like say I really the only one I've done like extra practice for was Nürburgring because I was nervous about putting in a wall. To be honest, I wanted to be fast and quick without the risk. But I only really do the same amount of practice. I probably do more laps in the practice lobbies, to be fair.
Right. Okay. I didn't practice Nürburgring and I still put it in the wall, as you probably remember. And then I did a little bit of a rage quit. Nothing wrong with that.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Whoever Kerbrustiguru is on the chat, I can't even say that. I'm gonna like.
That's my brother. That's my brother. Yeah.
Ah, well, Stephen's brother. He says secret: drive faster than everyone else. And that's exactly what you did tonight. So, anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go and pop the cork in your simulated champagne bottle?
Yeah, obviously just you guys for putting it all on and everything. It's still great every week, still good fun, and the guys that I race with and my teammates for, bump drafting people, and my brother for watching.
Yeah, cool. That's 100% of your fan club right there. Only kidding.
That's the only. It is though. It is. You're not even wrong.
Cool. See you later, Stephen.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
So you don't want to interview Scott, do you, Yaz? He's not even answering. Is he even there? He is as well. He's just not answering. Alternatively for you, we've got Ryan Walker, who finished second in TCR. Over to you, Yaz.
Can you hear me? Oh, Ryan. Oh, congratulations on another podium. That's 3 in a row for you for this season.
Yeah, thank you. I'm quite surprised by getting a podium tonight because I ended up falling back at the start of the race after getting a slowdown, but got a podium. I got second place due to Gary having an issue, which was unfortunate because he was up there challenging Stephen, but it's still a podium at the end of the day.
Yeah, you did mentioned it in the race when you know that you were up to third place after I think you dropped down probably to 7th or something after that slowdown in the first corner, but made your way all the way back up the field and actually dominated the rest of the pack. We had Stephen Walker again running away at the front, your brother, and you followed and took that second step on the podium. What was it like going around here? Well, you kind of had the benefit of the tow up front when you were a little bit behind, but then after that, when you were sort of chasing down the lead, could you feel the drop off in pace or the cars ahead of you running away because of that draft?
I think around Monza, if you're in the slipstream, it's easy. It's kind of easy to pull away from other people behind if you work together. But if you're all by yourself, or I noticed when I was by myself towards the end of the race, I didn't really notice any drop off. But trying to catch up to people around here without the tow is pretty much nigh impossible. But it's still a fun track to race around.
Yeah, and then pit strategies and all these kind of things. Did you find the track? How did you find the fuel usage around here? It was quite heavy. I know that the TCRs could run quite long, but do you have any sort of idea of what you were going to do before the race?
I had a plan in mind. As I said to Gary, I was just going to fuel save, and then that plan in the first half of the race kind of went out the window after getting a slowdown. So I tried to quickly get by as many cars as possible to try and get back up to the front or close to the front at least. But so for the rest of the race, it was just a case of finishing. But I didn't really notice any difference in the fuel consumption from what I remember.
You managed to make your way up to second. That's, like I said, 3 podiums to begin the season. How do you see that panning out to the rest of the season? I'm sure you're hoping that you can keep that up. Do you feel like you can catch Stephen?
At the moment, I think Stephen's it's so hard to catch him. He's an absolute alien in this car. So pretty much it's just a case of finishing races and just see where I end up. But at the moment, I'm surprised to get three podiums in a row. But hey, if they come my way, I'll take them.
Yeah, well, it's been excellent driving from you thus far, and I hope it can keep going for you for the rest of the season. Is there anybody you'd like to thank before you go today?
First off, you guys for putting on the broadcast as always. I always look forward to watching them back. I also the people behind the scenes that put the league on, and the whole team at BSTV Esports for making it a fun environment and making it a fun environment in League to Race on.
Oh, well, congratulations once again for your podium. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, guys.
And he's gone. Right, so where shall we go next? We shall go with... we'll go with this man. Finished 4th tonight in Gt4. Nearly said TCR because you used to drive that. For Team Chimera in his McLaren, and was very, very fighty towards the end. Even if he didn't manage to punch the pocket and actually get a podium. Jamie Wilson.
Yeah, I tried.
You really did as well. You were right on it there as well. You were chasing Stefan down right at the end. Spencer kind of got spat out part way through, and meant that you could get on terms with the top three, but couldn't quite get there on that last lap.
Yeah, I threw it away before that because I'd overtaken Stefan. He had a bad run through the second chicane, and I got him into Lesmo 1. And then it was game on from that point. And then I got a really stupid slowdown at the first corner, like a really marginal little teeny tiny one. And then I had to basically lift off all the way around the outside of Curva Grande. And then in my haste to recoup some of that time, I absolutely mullered the second curve at the second chicane and got another one. So that one was fair enough, but the first one was a bit, and then that just took me out of it until that end bit where they were fighting ahead. The traffic was quite kind to me at that point as well, and so I was able to close up, and I was just waiting for an opportunity for something to happen. I was just going to keep my foot in it, whatever happened ahead, and it's a bit of a lottery at that point. But yeah, it's quite satisfying to drive back up to them like that, having been 3 seconds back. That was quite good fun.
Yeah, and we're just watching on there, you benefiting from the German-Anglo relations of netcode, or as I've now retermed it, I don't know whether you heard that in the interview, solid air, because there was at least 3 feet of solid air between Stefan and Spencer, and it enabled you to leapfrog Spencer at that point in the race. So yeah, I know iRacing don't believe in netcode, so maybe they believe in solid air instead. What do you reckon? Do you reckon that's going to pass?
Quite possibly, yeah. Some of that's more solid than others as well.
Yeah, no. And bigger bits and little bits and stuff like that. But no, great racing tonight, and you've certainly represented the McLaren very well. How did it handle in comparison to the others? Could you see the difference between what the McLaren was doing and the Porsche, or the bus?
To be honest, not really. I mean, it's difficult to see wobbly through Tyler, so...
Yeah. Although not in the pit lane, because they were literally sharing the same bit of time.
Oh right, I couldn't see that. But I bet that confused him, respectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, the car felt fantastic actually. It's a car it's a track that suits the car, I think. The only challenge with us is fuel saving is twice as hard for us as it is for the others. So I was a bit annoyed that I managed to pass Spencer because I kind of needed him in front of me. So when he then did have a run on me, I didn't contest it because I thought that's better to have him in front closer than Stefan was before that. So, but yeah, surprisingly after Laguna as well, where the turn 6 curb there was just destroying suspension. Here you could absolutely butcher it over the curbs, like full on. Nothing aerated about that being solid.
Yeah.
Absolutely, just mullering it every time was good fun. And I think I was faster through the second chicane as a result of that when I didn't get the slowdown at least. And yeah, it was just a bit of a challenge that first stint. We're all trying to save fuel, but I ended up with basically a thimble when I came into it coughed in the lane. So, but after that I could go flat chat, and that's why I was able to catch back up.
Awesome stuff. In that case, anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go? And you've got to celebrate that. 4th place is a handsome result in this league, considering who's in front of you. And hopefully you'll get a podium next time round. You weren't far off it this time. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Yep, Simon. He had a VR crash on the formation lap. So
saw that. Sad.
Yeah, it was a weird one because his sound went first. And he was sort of worried about that as we pulled away, and then halfway through the scar he lost vision, and at that point, and then he had loads of damage and stuff and what have you. So yeah, that was a shame. But he'd put an awful lot of work into this because we knew this was going to be a good track for us with fuel saving, which we're pretty good at even in this car, and it suiting the McLaren. So unlike us normally. We were doing telemetry runs and figuring stuff out and calculated all manner of this, that and the other, and then he just had the carpet pulled out from him straight away. So he's currently sulking with some ice cream, I think.
Yeah. In that case, we'll let you go and celebrate, and we'll see you next time round. Jamie Wilson.
Cheers, guys.
So, we've just done 4th in GT4. It only seems fair, Yaz, to do 4th in TCR. So, new into the booth for you is Scott Malcolm.
Hi, guys.
We seem to have lost Yaz. Don't know why. It may be his last meme on the chat in Discord is something to do with. So I'll cover it, shall I? Yes, yeah, thanks. So Scott, you finished 4th tonight. Kind of gifted in one respect by Gary Craig, who got himself a lovely speeding penalty in pit lane. You managed to fuel the car up sufficiently to get to the end tonight, which is a miracle for you, really, isn't it? And got yourself decent points. So tell us about your race.
I was fuel saving to start with. You know, I was like I was wanting to stay behind Russ as much as possible, and hoping that we'd try and catch up with Ryan. But I started seeing that Ryan was pulling away and we were the catch up. I thought, like, come on, let's just make a race of this. Let's see, let's have a bit of fun. So I just went for it, and he gave as good back as he got.
He did. It was a fantastic racing spectacle. We had the same going on further back between Bowling Ball, who is Shane Powell, just in case you didn't know that one, and David Evers. You know, Bill's not here, but we can let his spirit live on. And the same was true between you and Russell. So you had a bit of a ding-dong battle all the way to the end, and still didn't run out of fuel. So have you changed your fuel strategy? Have you just got 8 different fuel calculators like we suggested you get the last time?
I've actually got 10 running now, so
right, okay.
One of them's going to be right.
You would only hope. How much fuel did you have at the end of the race?
I have no idea. It was enough to get me over the line anyway.
And that's all you're bothered about, right?
That's what I'm bothered about.
Yeah. Lovely clean racing tonight. Back in the mix of it, and looking like you're going to be able to challenge for, well, hopefully a podium position come the end of the season, because, again, it looks like Stephen Walker's going to romp away with it. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
This is going to be the usual crowd. Use a lot for giving up your time and put on these broadcasts and run the league, and all the rest of the drivers, especially the result clothing team guys. I think that's about it.
Cool. In that case, Scott Malcolm, 4th place tonight. Congratulations.
Cheers, Pete.
Right then, we've run out of.
Can you hear me?
Amazing,
you can hear me now.
Amazing that your internet sorted itself. Yeah, it's truly astounding. Right, we're gonna go with who's next? 1, 2, 3. I've missed Russell Cowell. Was he 3rd? He was. Over to you, Yaz. We're gonna talk to Russell Cowell, who I appear to have skipped over, even though he had a podium finish at 3rd in TCR.
We were just laughing about that.
Were you?
What? Yeah.
Laughing at me, or at Yaz?
No, the fact that I was just sat in there like, everyone's being pulled in before me and I came third, what's going on here?
Well, I was tactically... No, I won't tell you what that is. I'll tell you later. Don't worry about it. Over to you, Yaz.
Well, Russell, you've got a podium there. It was quite a battle you had in your hands. I mean, we saw that going back and forth between yourself and Scott Malcolm there for quite some time, but you managed to pip him in the end. A good 3rd place, a good podium. How did that hour go for you?
Well, I feel like I've been hit by a bus, if that helps. Everything is hurting. I'm sweating from head to toe. It was a good battle. I mean, after what happened with him on the first lap where he was side by side with me and the slight nudge sent him off, I was hoping that he'd catch back up and we were able to have that little battle. And then it was just back and forth. Him overtaking me and me getting it back and then trying to hold it as long as I could.
Yep. We were in the booth. We were talking about, where some of the guys were sort of working together to sort of catch up to the rest of the pack, and we saw you guys going side by side for quite a number of corners, and not taking that tactic at all. Just really battling. And we said, at the end of the day, these guys are all racers and they all want to get to the front, and they, sometimes those, you don't think about those tactics. Was that what it was like for you?
For me, I mean, Scott mentioned it before that it would have been good to do it, but for me, I already knew that I was never going to get next to Lucky Walker. Gary obviously had the pace because he has the pace anyway, and he was behind Stephen as well. And then Ryan's been outstanding since the start of this season. So I was like, well, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be any faster. So I'd rather have a decent race with Scott rather than us push around each other. And it can easily go wrong if you start using that. I mean, we could have bump drafted down the straight, but one of us forgets to brake, the other one goes off. It only looks bad on the other person. So I thought them three are just in a league of their own. So let's just go for it, basically.
And of course, it's a lot more fun doing what you guys did.
Yeah. Basically, I've never seen anything like it, to be honest. I was saying before that I usually practice that with Matt Elmore when we're racing in practice lobbies, and to actually do it in a race is mad.
Yeah, I think that what was nice to watch was that it was clean. It looked fun. I mean, yes, you mentioned there was a bit of an incident up front, but I mean the rest of it was all. Just a proper battle going on for probably the last half hour of that race, if not a little bit longer. And you managed to put yourself a podium, a third place. And we hope you can get some more through the season. Is there anybody you'd like to thank before you go this evening?
Obviously, you guys for the show, as you've heard from everyone else probably, because it's really good. It's fun.
I've never been called a show before. That's really egging it up, that one. That's
the stuff you put on, to be fair. Pete, because he was missed in the race tonight. I mean, come on.
Yeah, there's a tear here somewhere.
Obviously, my teammates, and to be fair to Scott as well for that race, because if one of us could have been dirty in that race, do you know what I mean? And it would have ruined it, where we was both really clean throughout it. So it was top effort from him as well.
Well, that was a well-fought race, and we look forward to seeing some more of you doing that through the rest of the season.
Cheers.
Yep.
Well, believe it or not, there are still people in the interview room to interview, so I've never been this popular ever in my mortal existence before. And the next person in is my own teammate, Gary Craig. Gary, a small tear dropped slowly across my cheek when Sam said you got a speeding penalty, because I think you could have easily put one on him on the last lap.
No, I got no speeding penalty. What you talking about? I was running around the back all afternoon.
Sam also spotted that you'd missed your pit stop in the same piece.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that as well. Yeah.
I'd like to say I've never been done by a pit stop infraction, but of course I have. Are you annoyed?
No, not at all. I ran around at the back all night, and that's where I finished.
Yeah.
It's all Stephen's. It's all Stephen's fault.
I blame Stephen as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was following him in. I've done some pit practice, but I was holding it quite tight to the right hand side of the track and using the pit entry line as my marker. But he swung in quite late, and of course, it's in a very harsh diagonal. So I kind of got flying in, noticed far too late that I'm not braking, and crossed the line doing 120 k's for a pit speed of 64. So I well and truly messed it up. To be fair, at that point I should have just kept it flat and got to my pit box faster.
Yeah, there is an argument for that, actually, isn't there? You'll be glad to know that there's more people watching now than at any point during the broadcast, so they're all here for your interview. Yeah, so I think you could have won that, couldn't you?
I don't know. Stephen got pretty lucky tonight.
Yeah, I think he did again.
No,
he's
Stephen was
he's
more than fast enough. Like I was managing to hang on to him most of the race, and it ebbed and flowed a bit, but he was just super fast through Lesmos, and then towards the end, before the pits, he actually managed to pull a bit of a gap. He had the pace. I can keep up in the draft there, but no, I don't think I had enough to take that away from him.
Okay.
Possibly could have gained a bit with the amount of fuel that I'd saved, but he still would have caught back up and passed, I would have thought.
Yeah, in his interview, he said he had 2 warehouses. One was full of rabbit's feet, and one was full of 4-leaf clovers. How are you going to compete against that?
Boxer matches.
Boxer matches. Awesome response. I don't know where's the next race. I know this league.
It's VIR.
Oh. I like VIR, but VIR doesn't like me. That is the track when I was doing the alternate where I ended up in the wrong pit lane.
What are the times you've done that?
I've done it twice, but that was the funnier one. Anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, the guy who knocked off the brake marker and pit entry.
Yeah, I think that was wobbly. I'm going to blame him.
Now, thanks to you guys for the broadcast and Stephen for a great race there, and everyone else who was in the race. It's just everyone who watches.
Awesome stuff. In that case, I won't tell you where you finished. Gary Craig.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
And then I don't know whether Just Bob is going to actually join us because he's muted on the chat. We'll see if he bothers to take his mute off. JB, he can't even hear me because he's muted on his headphones as well. So he's lost out tonight, sadly. I'll put him back in the interview room and we'll catch him next time. He'll watch the interview and be very embarrassed, no doubt. Right, driver of the night. I know you've had ages to think about it, Yaz. You know, during that silent period where your internet suddenly abandoned you.
I don't know what happened
inexplicably. What the hell?
Yeah, I think it's netcode. I think it was netcode in that moment.
Solid air between you and the ability to speak at a certain point in time. All right then. Who's your driver of the night?
Stefan Goebel, no doubt.
Stefan, right? Okay. Yeah. No, that is a good vote actually.
Yeah, great race and great finish at the end there to take that extra points. He also got the fastest lap tonight, so extra points for him.
Good stuff. Sam, am I still not allowed to vote for myself?
No.
Oh, for Christ's sake. In that case, I am going to back Bowling Ball, Shane Powell, who made a vote in there for David Ayres, or in Bill's world, David Evers. And I'm going to follow that because he's finished the race. He was very competitive. A lot of the footage was on him, and his ding-dong battle with Bowling Ball was brilliant. I'm going with David Ayres tonight.
Well, guess it's my turn then. And
it certainly is.
Yeah, I will go for Stefan. He did a great race again. Yeah.
Stefan launches himself to the top of the table with 3 points. Just Bob, who couldn't be bothered with an interview, comes in second. Most handsome man in the league is third at the minute, and joint third with everybody else. So yeah. Interesting race. It was full of action all the way from the start to the finish, to be fair. And we expected that, though, didn't we, Yaz? Because the draft round here meant that everybody was going to stick together the entire race, unless you got a pit lane penalty.
Yeah, the guys really made us look very clever for our preview. We were talking at the beginning of the race about how they were going to use the draft and how they were going to do what they did basically through this race. Just looking at the driver standings there, but yeah, we could see that that the guys used the draft. They were clever about it, but in the end, I think the like in the interviews of the guys we interviewed, the faster guys won today, whether it be Lucky, Stephen Walker, or Wobbly kneecaps. The other guys all said that they were just a little bit too quick for them to catch, but the rest really kept up with them using the draft as best as they can. And then we saw some interesting pit stops, but in the end, it was a very entertaining hour.
It was, and for a Monza race, which can be quite boring, that wasn't. Very exciting. I'm sure you were inundated with camera changes because there were so many pocketed battles that went on all race, Sam. It lasted forever, that.
Yeah, it was a tough one. More than I expected.
Yeah, and this Saturday we are at VAESC action at Monza. Hopefully I'm saying the right words at the right time.
That's Suzuka, but yeah.
Oh, it is, isn't it? We subbed it out. So Suzuka, that's what I actually said. Everybody just ignore the other bit.
Yeah.
We've got a sprint feature race, 30 minutes, then 60 minutes. Me and Clyde in the booth, so that should be interesting. Are you on? You're not on cameras for that. You're not, are you? You're racing, aren't you?
Neither of those.
You're not doing any of them?
No, I'm taking the weekend off.
Who granted you a holiday? Anyway, ITCR is at Zandvoort on Sunday for rounds 19, 20, and 21. I'm hoping to race that one. Or are you not there again, Sam? Are you taking the weekend off?
Yeah, if that's okay. If you really want to race, I can do it. But
no, it's fine. I'll torture Clyde in the interview booth. And then in the week we're back with Gt4 TCR, but I can't remember where it is. And then the weekend after, on the Sunday, is the last race of the season for GTCC, which is at Daytona Road. That one could be quite exciting if enough of the drivers turn up. It was pretty good last Sunday, and I've just seen your message. That's hilarious. Yeah, join us for all those races. Watch us on, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube and on Twitch. Never miss a race if you can help to. Amazing that Yaz's internet conks out at certain points in the interview stages.
Yeah, it seems to be fine now.
Yeah, it's fantastic that it's recovered so well. You know, it's brilliant. I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to let the guys say goodnight, and we will see you again on Saturday. Over to you, Yaz.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.
And see you next week.